back to the 10th video. And in this video, we are going to see an example of the chains branching. So let's start. Okay, so I'm going to explain chain. How does the branching look like? So you will have some components in your branch, and then based on some condition, then in your chain you are going to have some branches, and based on some condition, you are going to choose a branch. So that's how the branching works. Like you need to check based on some condition and you will choose a branch. And only in a single chain execution, only one branch will be executed based on some condition. This is not a parallel and only a single branch will get executed. So this is how it's going to look like. Uh, we're going to do one code example for this one. And in that code example, we are going to have a customer review, and then our model it's going to analyze that review to see if this review is positive or negative or neutral or so. And based on that classification we are going to execute a branch. Okay, and then in that branch we're going to have some logic. So let's start with the coding part. So yeah, so what I will do, I will create a new file here. Actually, I will copy paste the old file and I will say then chain branching. Okay, so I'm gonna start with some. Okay, so I'm gonna remove. Actually, let's keep it like this, and I am going to remove all of this. Okay, so actually, I'm gonna keep this. I'm going to remove all of this. And the next thing I am going to do is that I'm going to comment this one down. So we let's start with the basic part first. Let's build this part first, and then we will go with the branching. Okay, so for the basic part, what I will do, I will say system message. You are AI assistant, and the human message would be classify the sentiment of the feedback. Actually, let's change it to owned back with only one word. I'm gonna say classification. Uh, TRL neutral. Okay, so classify the sentiment of feedback. Uh, and here I am gonna provide the feedback. Okay, so as you can see, it's very straightforward, and this is something we have been doing uh, till now, so it's going to be very straightforward. Now I'm going to define my chain. My chain is going to be chain is equal to prompt template. I have a prompt template, then my model, and the final thing is my parser. And I'm going to invoke the chain, actually I will use the same code to invoke the chain. And the feedback is Indian curry was terrible. And let's run it and we'll see how this is working, how this is doing. Okay, so I'm gonna run this and you will see here the output. Okay, let's wait. Okay, so it's this was my feedback and it classified it as a negative. Okay, let's go up and let's see. Okay. And let's put here something like was amazing. And I'm gonna run this again to show you. And you can see right now it's positive. Okay, now let's build this branching mechanism. And for that, I will be using the Runable Branch class. So let's go up here, import that Runable Branch. So first, what I will do, I will define actually two templates, one for the negative and one for the positive. So yeah, so what I will do, I will copy paste this and I will say, actually, let's make it much simpler. And I will copy the messages from here and I will paste the messages. Okay. I will paste my messages directly here and I will remove this one from here. So I need two prompt templates. Actually, I need three. So, okay, I will say positive prompt template, your AI assistant. So I will say you are just assistant and I will remove this one. Here I will say generate a response for this positive feedback. Okay, so and actually I'm gonna just copy paste this here and I'm gonna say for a positive, I'm gonna say negative and I am going to rename it to the I'm going to rename it to the NHDTA negative and here I am gonna say neutral. NAUTRL neutral prompt template. Okay, and I am going to replace this one here and I'm gonna say NAUTRL neutral. Okay, so these are my three prompt templates for three chains. And the next thing I am gonna create is something called Runable Branch. Okay, instance of a Runable Branch. And this is how actually I am going to define my branch. Okay, and this is a class and I will provide this class all my branches, like the all possible combination of more branches. So and the input is a tuple, so I will give it two tuples and the last one would be lambda function. And yeah, so actually let's do it in a neat and clean way, and that is okay. So okay, let's create a first branch And in first branch, there are two parameters. The first one is a condition, and the second one is a chain. So what does that mean? Is that mean that in every branch there are two things. The one is the condition, and the second one is the chain. And what how the runnable branch is gonna execute it? It's gonna check first the condition. If the condition matches, it is going to execute that branch. If that condition doesn't match, it's going to move to the next branch and it's going to check if the condition match there, it's going to execute that. And it will keep going until unless it will find the branch where condition is matching, or if it is unable to find any branch where the condition is matching. In the last, we will define a default chain. So if it is unable to find any branch where the condition is matching, it will execute the default branch, the default chain. So I'm gonna just create a code for that. This thing, lambda xx is uh, positive. Okay, so we saw that we are getting positive in caps. So I will put something like this in x. Okay, so positive in x. Then this is my condition. If there is a positive word in the response, this chain is producing. That means the review was positive. So I need to trigger the positive chain. So for the positive chain, I will pick this prompt and I will pass the model and I will pass the parser. Okay, similarly, I will copy this and I need a similar thing for the negative. And here I'm going to trigger the. Okay, so for the default one, I'm not going to have a condition for the neutral one. Neutral mean the last one default where I any scenario where my chain this chain is unable to classify the feedback either positive or negative, so it's going to be a neutral. So for that I'm not going to have a condition, and this chain is going to be my default chain in case the input doesn't match any condition mentioned here or here. So for that, I will copy paste this one and I will just put my chain here and I will put this prompt. Okay, so with this being done, I will do the last part where, okay, I will call this as a chain classification chain, because this chain is exactly classifying the review. So I will call this as a classification edge. Classification chain. I'm gonna copy this one from here and I'm gonna paste this one here. And I am actually, yeah, so I will do this and now I will run the chain. Let's run it again and see what we are getting in the output. Okay, so in this example, the review was positive. So in the feedback, we got, thank you so much for a positive feedback. We are thrilled to hear that you are happy with our services. Your certification is our top priority. And so we got a positive feedback. Let's try with something negative. And let's see how does this one goes. Okay, so you can see the feedback. Here's your feedback to handle a negative review. So that's all about the chaining. We discussed the chains, what the chain works, how the chains are defined under the hood, how you can define a custom component, and the parallel chaining, the branching in the chains, and from the next video onward, we are going to look into a concept which is called lag. So, let's take a look into that, and that's it for this video. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed our channel yet, please subscribe. Thank you.